Hello! Welcome to another episode of Nerd Nonsense. I am your host, Nero, and this is.
Mm, it's Makoto.
Having a drink there?
Yeah. I had Zaxby's today.
mm. So, I don't know who I want to start with. Advent Children talk, or I can give my thoughts on Rebirth, because as of recording this, it's been the weekend after Rebirth came out.
Correct. We could talk about Advent Children.
First. Alright, let's start with that. I'll give my thoughts on Rebirth at the end. Now you gotta tune in to hear what I'm thinking. So we both saw Advent Children in theaters. Although you saw it subbed, correct?
I saw it subbed. Yeah.
How was
Um.
that?
So first, for some context, I wanted to see it dubbed. And I totally forgot. I was messaging Nero and said, "Fuck." the Advent Children was yesterday. So then, so I told Luna about it, and she says, "We can watch it today." I'm like, "But it's subbed." She's like, "We're watching it," and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
All right. How is that? Like the voice differences and everything.
It was, so first off, was my first time watching it in theaters, first time watching it subbed, and my first time watching the complete edition.
Oh, you hadn't seen the complete edition before.
I haven't. My brother has it on Blu-ray. I never watched it.
I've only seen the complete
Uh,
edition once. Once I got it on Blu-ray.
yeah, I've only seen the original airing, and um, I gotta say, those visuals still hold up.
They surprisingly held up real well.
Like until you look at people, it looks like a live action.
Yeah, like Square was on some next level shit when they made that. Like that, it holds up remarkably well.
It is crazy. Um, Overall, like the voices are fine. They're about like what I remember. Unfortunately, the ones who take up most of the spotlight in or most of the screen time in the movies, besides what Reno and Rude,
Yeah,
right? His name's Reno, right?
yeah. Reno Rude.
Yeah. Yeah. Besides those two, everyone's just edgy, bland people. Even Tifa is like who's is just still like just such a quiet, short-worded character in this film.
Hmm.
So it does like it is a little slow, I think, like in the beginning and
I'm wondering
in the middle.
because I know there's more camp in the dub, especially with the trio. The trio are a little campy, especially Lowe's.
Mm-hmm.
Don't cry, Lowe's. Oh, don't cry it.
It was very fun to just listen. Like it was also very fun to watch it with Luna, who played kind of recently. I want to like within the year has played through Final Fantasy VII. So
Yeah,
then
it's
to
like
watch it and has no idea really the story after seven. Um, and then like whenever you see like the Tifa versus Lolth fight, right? Lolth,
yeah,
yeah.
Lowe's. Yeah,
You have like the piano rendition of the battle theme,
yeah,
and then even at the end, when you think the fight is over, you hear the victory fanfare.
yeah. It made great use of the music in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I forgot how good the music was in the movie till watching. Like, man, they rearranged all these tracks and they're all so freaking good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got the battle theme. You got the Genova's theme. Obviously, One Winged Angel. Um,
I will say they did spend a lot of time on bikes. A lot of time.
sorry, my headphones died.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Resume.
Uh, I just said I just said they did spend a lot of time on bikes.
Yeah, although the original game has lots of bike, well, not lots of bikes, but the bike with Cloud is very iconic.
Hmm. Okay
It's
then.
okay, right? You are again, once again, the person who knows the low stuff on seven who's actually never played it.
Yeah.
Cloud plus bike is super iconic. You have two. I mean, in the main game itself, you have the one bike mini game, right? And then you can redo that mini game at the Gold Saucer. It's just a very iconic thing. And I
Mm.
remember a lot of promotional material for that game had Cloud on the bike.
Mm-hmm.
Not that
Okay.
specific bike, but a bike. Um, I always like it's really interesting because going right playing through Rebirth now and having played remake, is like how much these characters like looks were defined by Advent Children. Because before, all it was polygons, very ugly looking polygons,
Yeah.
and some like minor 2D art. But really, this is the thing that defined the look of these characters for like the next. When did this movie come out? 2005. Originally, I think. So for the next like 20 plus years almost.
Well, there was Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, but the Kingdom Hearts 2 came out the same year as this, with the Advent Children looks, cross promo.
Yes, it was a cross promo for the movie, but
And
I was more so thinking like they at least were able to get a good idea of what Yuffie, Aerith, Sid, and even kind of Cloud, but Cloud was like a mix.
Cloud was because of that was really supposed to be Vincent.
Yeah.
And then they scrapped that halfway through development, put Cloud in, and that's why his outfit looks like that. But yeah, I mean, we've always known what these characters look like, but like this rendition, specifically Advent Children, how their faces look, is kind of like how it's been.
Yeah.
Ever since.
That's fair.
And they've kind of stuck to that.
Mm-hmm.
And you have this. It's really interesting, I guess, going back now that I actually know what the hell is happening in 7. Like when I first saw Advent Children, I was a dumb kid who had played 7, but didn't understand 7. If you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously played 7 again a couple more times in my life. Actually understanding 7 now, playing through Crisis Core, and then also playing obviously Remake and really recontextualizing all of it and understanding a lot of like really like the Sevenisms of Seven's universe. I'm like, oh, okay, I finally get what like the stigma is, and understanding that this time around, as opposed to back, I think last time I saw this movie was like what 20. When did the complete come out? Like 2012.
I want to say that's accurate.
So it's probably the last time I saw it. So when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did they add anything to the theatrical release?
No, it was just a straight complete edition.
It was just straight complete.
Besides the interview at the beginning with the directors and stuff.
So because I was all like, because I was like, yeah, the complete edition definitely added more Zack scenes.
There was more Zack scenes and more Denzel scenes, which specifically what we're adding.
Yeah. I barely remember that Denzel, or not Denzel. The Reno and Rude's group. I barely remember like that whole little plot, like that with the cloak and the Genova and all that. Like I totally forgot that the dude just had it the whole time.
Bro, freaking Rufus Shinra out here messing with the shit with Kadaj the whole time, being like, I don't know where it is. Literally has it right there.
Yeah, it's been here the whole time, dummy.
Really, you are a shit son.
Oh man.
Yeah, which is also such a Rufus Shinra thing to do. It's such a. He's totally the kind of
Advent Children was my first ever Final Fantasy VII anything besides Kingdom Hearts. And that's a huge note. Kingdom Hearts I had experience with before watching this. So when I watched the movie, like I said, they had no Zack scenes just about, except for his voice.
Yeah,
until the very end when you see Aerith and Zack at like the door of the church or whatever. And my little I don't know how old I was, like 10-year-old, 11-year-old self went, "What's Squall doing there?"
What's Squall doing there?
Or knowing me, I probably said Leon, but
that's actually perfect. Yeah, no, it's watching. I'm like, watching it without actually like being seen 7 is wild content, or like knowing the base story of 7 is wild. Like with the content, like what is happening?
Well, even this time watching it, I knew of the scene. The very first scene of the movie is Red 13 running through the fields, which I didn't know was the very last scene of the game.
Oh, did Luna tell you after?
Yeah, she told me when that happened. She's like, "Oh, it's the shot from the game." I'm like, "What? Wait, what are you talking about?" She's like, "That's the very last shot of the game." I'm like, Oh,
Oh,
that's clever. I like they did
yeah, because the
that.
original Seven, spoilers for a game from 1997, anyone? Uh, the original Seven ends. You don't really know what happens to everyone. It just kind of you beat Sephiroth, but you don't know, and then you see the meteor stop, but you still see stuff falling down from the sky and damaging the shit. So you don't know really, and all you see after that is this is like a time skip of like 2,000 whatever years later, and it shows Red with his
It
kids
was
and like the natural
500,
or
believe.
500 whatever, yeah, some
Yeah.
number like that, but Red with his kids and the planet's alive again, right? Because the whole point of
Hmm.
Seven is capitalism bad, become eco-friendly. Your average Ghibli movie plot, honestly.
I love that they actually made it to where it was exactly 500 years later too, because then they go like 498 years ago, and then it's the movie, which I guess takes place 2 years after the final battle,
Yeah.
which is just like I like that they actually made it canonical that is exactly 500 years later.
Yep. Uh, it's fun. It's a cool ride. Like seeing it, right? Seeing the Sephiroth homies again.
The Sephiroth fan club.
Yeah. I feel like I mentioned this one before, but like having played remake recently or last year or not whatever 4 years ago. God, it's been 4 years. Anyway, having played remake 4 years ago and having those characters referenced there and like seeing come full circle and everything. I'm very curious. As I'm playing Rebirth right now, I'm still on the lookout for like things from Advent Children since it was released right again, obviously to promote Rebirth to see what potentially could connect.
I
Uh,
could have sworn Vincent and the gun guy. I could have sworn they fought.
in the original, they did not.
I remember that so clearly that they did, but no, they just kept on getting dicked around by Reno and Ruth,
Yep.
which arguably they had the most screen time. I swear to God, they had the most screen time.
I mean, they are
Reno and
beloved
Ruth.
characters.
Yeah.
Stand out, specifically Reno.
Hmm. Well,
Especially,
actually, I think he had a little less because of that. Like he was there in the scene, but was behind a door.
yeah, true. But Reno specifically, like, right, especially in the dub, right? Him and Axel having the same voice actor, and Axel being inspired by Reno,
For sure. Yeah.
design wise. But it was a treat to see. I say this, it was a treat to see in theaters, except and I call them out, except for those two girls behind me giggling the whole time, even during like, oh, you know what? Cool, can't be dialogue giggle. They're doing the fight against Bahamut Sin, and just giggling. I'm like, what the, shut the fuck up. I am trying to see Cloud kill Bahamut.
Yeah.
Like, during, like, touching moments with air, I'm, like, still giggling. I'm like, what is happening?
Okay, how come out of that whole party, like it really felt like Sid was the only one doing like actual damage to that thing?
Because I think, you know what, that might be a hot, like, this could be reading way too much into this, but it could be a reference to the fact that Sid is a Dragoon, and
Maybe.
Dragoons are
It's just like
anti-dragon.
they're shooting like all these bullets into him and like throwing all this stuff, but Sid's the only one jumping in and stabbing this thing in the head.
I mean, Sid got that spear.
Yeah.
I don't know what Barrett's trying to do with that gun. He's gonna kill Bahamut.
I feel like the movie should have had more Barrett in it.
I need more Barrett. I love Barrett.
Mhm.
Um, Costume wise, man, I don't know what the hell they were thinking with Barrett's outfit. It is a choice, even to this
Eh,
day.
it is what it is. I mean, they were gonna change it for this release, but
No, I know, but even back then, I'm like, we're going with the fishnet. This is what we're doing. All right. But I liked it. Great, holds up really well. Um, Hearing the old voice cast again was cool for me in the dub.
I'm sure it was.
It's all right. Could very well hear the difference in Zack because I had just been playing Crisis Core.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Speaking of, actually, I mentioned before I was going to try to play Crisis Core before Rebirth.
Yeah.
I did in fact roll credits on Crisis Core 30 minutes before Rebirth unlocked on my PS5.
Cool.
It was a really nice moment.
So, I guess I'll give my experience with Rebirth then. We'll just transition to this real quick. We got the game and we installed it and everything. Booted it up. To which Luna read, if you have save information for remake and DLC,
Yep.
then you can unlock Leviathan and
And
Rahu.
Rahma.
And she goes, wait, we don't have save info on this
DLC.
even for remake because it was on the PS4. It didn't transfer.
Did you not save it and transfer it?
I mean, she didn't. This wasn't me.
Like, did she not cloud transfer it?
Maybe not.
It would recognize
I don't know.
PS4 data. It recognized mine.
I don't know. She tried loading it, couldn't find it.
Oh, it recognized mine.
So she's like, what do I do? So she booted up Final Fantasy VII real quick, or remake real quick, to then make a save file. So she can load it into Rebirth just to get Leviathan. But she's like, but do I want to boot up the DLC?
I mean,
does she have to beat remake to do the DLC?
No, I don't think so. I think it's a separate episode.
Okay.
I mean, I had beaten remake when I played the DLC, so I don't know 100%, but I think you don't have to. It's a separate screen if you have the DLC. Like, you click a tab, and the Buster Store changes to the Yuffie Shuriken. I mean, I always recommend playing that DLC because it's actually really good DLC and goes into deep grounded Cerberus shit.
Yeah, because she hasn't played it, so
it's really good DLC, and like, I'm at the point in Rebirth where I just got Yuffie in my party, and she flashes back to the DLC a couple times.
Does any like do you upgrade stats within the DLC that then can translate to Rebirth?
No. It's standalone. Okay. It does introduce the synergy system into it as a light version there, so you kind of get a feel for the synergy system there. But it's a short DLC. It's like 2 hours, and it introduces the Fort Condor minigame, which shows up again in Rebirth. It's a short DLC, but it does introduce like characters that do reappear in Rebirth.
Okay.
So it's definitely, I feel like, one to play. It gives more context to Yuffie and gives her more backstory. So I always recommend it. It's a really good DLC. Nice little prologue to and it actually adds more scenes to the end of remake, like for remake's ending, that are referenced in Rebirth. So I should probably just jump right into Rebirth, to be honest.
Yeah.
I am, so as of this recording, I have almost 30 hours into Rebirth. I'm like 28 hours. I am in Costa del Sol. So I want to say I'm close to the halfway point, maybe. Probably. I don't know, to be honest. How long they've expanded things, right? I've done Calm, Junon, and now I'm in Costa del Sol. This game, it's going to be hard to find a game that I love more than this game this year. It is one of my favorite open world designs in any game, because of the way this game is structured. So basically, right, and this is going to be very spoiler-free. I'm not going to get into any story stuff at all with this talking, so anyone concerned, don't worry about it. The way this game is designed, though, is like, you go to your area, right? So, your first area, and then you do the story stuff, and then you get the option to do side quests, right? You can obviously skip on the side quests, but if you do the side quests, the way the side quests are positioned in the open world makes it so that you kind of just go through and explore the whole map. And if you're like me, and you're like, oh, there's like, there's like open world objectives, as every open world game does, right?
Yeah.
So then I'm like, oh, there's a combat challenge there. Well, I'm on the way, might as well just do it quick. Oh, there's a tower right there as I'm going to the quest. Might as well just do it quick. And the way, like, when I waited in my head, I'm like, I'm only going to do the quests, like the side quests, right? I'm not going to do any of the other stuff unless I come across it. By the time I did all the side quests, I only had 2 things left on the map for the first area. I was like, well, I'll just do them. And then there we go, first area 100%. Move on, next area. Same thing happened. It's just designed in this way where you do explore the whole map if you're doing the side quests, the story side quests, where you then just kind of do everything. It's a really cool design, and it doesn't feel overwhelming.
I like that. It doesn't feel out of the way.
No, it doesn't. I don't feel like I have to go out of my way to do it. It's just there.
but it's like it's also something that it is a side quest.
Yeah,
So if you want to speed run the game,
yeah,
like you can skip it.
exactly. The side quests are really fun and cool. You get more depth into the lore. Like, I think I vaguely knew this, but I forgot. It's not really spoiler, but just lore for the world. That Junon was its own republic at once and had a war with Shinra in the past. Like, I think I was vaguely aware because of Crisis Core stuff. But like, man, they really get into it. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, okay.
Huh.
And just getting that kind of lore and the detail, the stories of these like just NPC, like the NPC characters are all lots of them are. That was my favorite part of remake was getting to know these new and like these NPCs in the world of Midgar, and now I'm getting that same experience but with every single area of the Seven world. Seeing Calm fully realize as this full bustling town, experiencing under Junon, uh, going through like the even Costa del Sol I'm doing right now is so cool, and seeing the culture of Costa del Sol and like the people and the vibes. It's been very interesting and cool to see. I will say, and this is not a critique. This is an observation. This game is 60% combat, 40% mini games. There's a fuck ton of mini games.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
And I will say this: I have only encountered one mini game when I was annoyed. Every mini game has been fire.
Okay.
Like, I am surprised at how much I am enjoying all the mini games. Right. So the standout one that I feel everyone who's kind of like trying to look into this game knows about it by now: Queen's Blood, which is the trading card game that you kind of like weaves its way through the whole game, is actually amazing. It's one of my favorite trading card games of all time now. I legitimately love this game.
Oh, I'm sure they'll release it like Gwent was for Witcher.
Yeah, it needs the Gwent treatment, honestly, because it's really cool. The side quest for Queen's Blood kind of expands through the whole game, and it's like a Yu-Gi-Oh story. Like, once you get to your first rank, you rank up, right? You get this weird vision of this guy, and he's talking about the spirit world, and the cards are possessing him, and I'm like, Maximilian Pegasus, and he's the creator. I'm like, are we doing Yu-Gi-Oh tonight?
Yu-Gi-Oh Shinra. Whoa.
Whoa. And then like on in like what is it on the cruise ship partner there's like you run into a Queen's Blood another Queen's Blood like player. It's like all this cool stuff. And I'm like, oh, this shit's cool. Fort Condor's in it again from Intergrade, and still fun. Man, that last level, fuck that though. It was really hard. Challenged me to my core. It's for side quest.
I'm curious to how Luna's gonna react to the card game.
It's a really fun card game.
Because she doesn't play those kind of card games like Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, or anything like that.
I think it's simple enough to understand and like get. It's not super. That's why I like it so much. It's not overly complicated. There's no like, but there is enough depth to it where you use strategy.
Mm-hmm.
It is something you could totally ignore. They only make you play it at one point in the game. You told every side quest content, all these.
Well, she's such a side quest, like do everything.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's how she got like the best ending for Final Fantasy 15 or 16.
Yeah, it is it is totally this game is chock full of side content up the wazoo. Yeah. Also, this is also known. All the side content is each side quest also involves at least one party member in it, and that's actually how you boost their affinity for that gold saucer date. So the dating mechanic is kind of built into the side quest content. So if you want to get a higher score, you want to do all of Tifa's side quests. If you want to get the date with Aerith, you want to do all the side quests Aerith's featured in. Right? They're not necessarily their side quests, but they are featured in those quests, and they boost your affinity for them.
Great. Final Fantasy 7 is also a dating sim.
Oh, it's fucking a dating sim. I mean, the original 7 was a dating sim to a some degree because there was the gold saucer date in the original, and you had that secret affinity score in the background based on who you used in your party. They just ramped it up to 11 in this game. And there's dialogue choices on, like, you can go, like, when you're exploring the town for the first time, you go see everyone, give you all dialogue choices, and then they give different affinity boosts. It's a dating sim.
But can I reject one of them and they call me a bottom?
You know, I haven't gotten to that point yet. We'll see. It's great, though. Voice acting's phenomenal. All the characters are still fun and interesting. Story's been very good so far. God, the mini games, man. I'm thinking heavily on that because I just came out of Costa del Sol, which is literally just mini game the area.
Hmm.
Like I think I spent 3 hours on the shooting mini game. Like like those old it's like an old it's like you're going to a carnival type thing, and
Yeah,
the shooting the target. I'm like I
like the
want
water gun
yeah,
game. Yeah.
and I spent I think 3 hours trying to get like the best score possible to get the prizes because they're all useful
Mm.
prizes. I'm like I want that time material. I don't want to spend my gil on it. I'll work for it. Uh, there's one mini game that's just basically Rocket League, but with red instead of a car. Red 13. And it's super fun. Like, it plays like Rocket League. I'm like, wait, hold up. It's really fun. There's a lot of really fun mini games. And it's like, okay, all right, all right. It's like a little theme park going through. Um,
So, okay, I know we're talking about Rebirth. How long does it take to play through Remake?
I want to say 40-ish hours. 40 to
Mm.
50, depending on how much the side quest and like what difficulty you're on.
Yeah.
You gonna play remake?
I look.
You
Okay,
should.
so
It's really
okay,
good.
so it's like I genuinely want to. The issue is getting me away from my computer for that long.
Fair.
Because I'm such a like I fully transitioned to PC gamer where I can't spend that long on a console unless it's like a Switch.
I mean, it is on PC.
It is on PC, but then I gotta buy it again.
That's the downside.
Which I mean, I don't got that kind of money right now. I'm
No, I
still
feel you.
jobless.
I feel you. I don't know, man. It is. I think it is worth it. I mean, it was my game of the year that year.
Yeah.
I think remake is phenomenal in every facet. I mean, I haven't talked much about the combat in Rebirth because it is very similar to remake, except with the synergy system. But it's still great. It's the active time action system where you are doing action combat, but then you can hit the X button to pause, slow down time, and think things through and use your spells and abilities. It's like that perfect blend. And you can like hotkey map like Kingdom Hearts as well, so you don't have to like pause anything. You just keep fluid action going.
Mm-hmm.
It does honestly. It reminds me of very much of Kingdom Hearts, but with like slow down.
Okay.
It is a great system. The synergy system added in Rebirth and Intergrade adds combos, party combos, which just adds so much more depth to the combat. So like who you have in your party, you can have different like synergy attacks, that like combo attacks, and they eventually go to synergy abilities, which are like basically combo limit breakers, and they do shit ton of damage. They're super fun to use, and it's very much like a game of figuring out the enemy's weakness and then exploiting that weakness and just going. It's a very fun system. Thinking else, anything else I want to note with Rebirth so far? Just interesting. I don't want to say anything spoilery.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I bet. As I told you earlier, I potentially ran into a pretty big spoiler, and I'm very
yeah,
upset.
I haven't luckily yet. The one thing I will say, and this is extraordinarily minor spoilers, just for a character appearing. Um, I'll put up a spoiler warning if for this like quick segment for anyone who just doesn't want to know. Um, but they did the thing. They put an Ever Crisis character. I was like, God damn it! The guy I thought was gonna be Glenn was Glenn from Ever Crisis. Like, son of a bitch! And I gotta go watch Ever Crisis videos because I'm not playing that game. So I gotta go watch Ever Crisis videos. He just shows up, starts talking to Rufus Shinra, saying some shit about starting wars again. I'm like, God, whatever. All right, cool. Cloud-looking dude with a beard. All right, spoiler warning over, and that'll be off the screen now. But yeah, so I was like, oh, okay.
So is that pretty much what you've been doing now since
Essentially, if any free
yeah.
moment I've gotten has been devoted to Rebirth, because I'm also just trying to get through. I also, as much as I want this game. This game for me is like my Baldur's Gate now, where like I want to just live in this world constantly,
That's fair.
and I know I'm going to take a while to finish it because I 100% of the first two areas. I'll probably end up 100%ing all the areas just because of how the game's built, and I do want to see all the side quests and content. Um, it's just the way it's built. I'm like I want to do that side quest. Time to just go over here, ride my chocobo. Go over here. Oh look, tower. Oh look, not materia. Make a spot. And the best part is, I think a lot of these side objectives don't take that long. That are on the way. The longest
Okay.
ones are the combat trials, and you're just killing a few enemies, which is like what you expect to do anyway in the game, right? So it's really cool. I like it a lot.
Do you think they're ever going to just do like a HD actual remake of 7?
Like with the same combat?
Yeah.
No, no
No.
way, no way, no. After this, no, never. I think they could with 6 or 4. I think have a chance of that. Them getting like an Octopath Traveler style remake, because if they're doing it with Dragon Quest 3, right? They're remaking Dragon Quest 3 the Octopath style, the H2D HD, right? And I feel like those two games, Force kind of already had one with the 3D remake, so I feel like 6 though could get that style remake if Dragon Quest 3 does well.
Mm,
But no, I don't think 7 will ever get that kind of like that treatment, especially after a remake.
it's a damn shame. Because I know there was a huge amount of the fan base who really wanted that.
I mean, that's just, I understand the desire for it, but the game's there. It's never going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how much it would benefit to have the same battle system. You know? Like, having the exact, after having a remake, why would I don't think I would want that. I don't think I would want that anymore, you know? Because, right, like, yeah, I mean, you kind of, and I hate it, but the closest you're going to have is Ever Crisis, which will have the full 7 story in it. That is going to be, what's it called? Have HD models of all the characters in their, in the turn-based system. That's probably the closest that anyone's going to get for that.
Yeah, maybe.
That's
Who
what they
knows?
pitched it as, a different kind of remake. Is it a gotcha game though? Yeah, that kind of sucks. But that is, unfortunately, that's what it is. So, but you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine.
It's chill.
Yeah. Ooh, you know what? One more thing. Good to throw a spoiler when you get good. Minor spoiler again. I want to give props, and I don't know if it's a different voice actor yet. I haven't checked, but I want to give props to the voice for Red 13, because there have been moments where he switches to his Nanaki persona. You know, his like true self kind of thing, and the voice change up floored me. And I don't know if it's a different voice actor or not, but and I have to look into it once it's official, like later at some point. But like, if it's the same voice actor doing those two voices, holy shit, that is range.
So that's actually I just searched Red 13 voice, and then like what the top result was change, and so I clicked it, and yeah, someone has been apparently this is a popular thing that people have been discussing on Reddit and stuff.
Cause it's wild. Like when the first time I heard it, I was like, "Who the fuck is?" Oh, it's Red. Because the first time you hear it behind a closed door kind of thing, and you're like Cloud's like, "Who the hell's talking to Aerith?" And then you see Red come out, and you're like, "What?"
So actually, it does not shock me that it is one person, and you want to know who it is?
Who is it?
Max Middleman.
Fucking! I knew I heard that because the Nanaki voice sounds like Max Middleton.
Yeah.
But his Red 13 voice doesn't sound like Max Middleton. It sounds like he's doing a voice. That makes so much more sense. Holy shit!
Speaking of Max Middleman, did you see they? I'm sure you saw this. But a quick little side thing. Did you see they announced One Punch Man season 3?
I did see that.
Yeah. Cool.
JC Staff again. So you know, people can cry and suffer. We'll see how the animation turns out.
We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to point out and give props to that performance because holy crap, and it's an amazing performance.
I think it's awesome that Max Middleman even made it into this game.
Yeah.
To begin with, like, it's awesome. Kudos to him.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to hear Matt Mercer as freaking Vincent, man. I'm waiting.
You still haven't gotten to Vincent.
No,
wow.
I'm like 30. I think I'm like another 30 hours away, to be honest.
Wow.
Because in the original base game, right, if it's going the same like order, From Costa del Sol, I'm gonna go to Coral Mountain. From Coral Mountain, I'm going to go to the Gold Saucer first visit. Then I'm going to go to Cosmo Canyon. But no, then Gungana, then Cosmo Canyon, then Nibelheim. So I got a lot.
You still have a ways to go.
I got a ways to go. And then from Nibelheim, I think it's Gold Saucer 2. And then Temple, then Temple of the Ancients, and then the City of the Ancients, and then Endgame. Yeah, Nibelheim is fairly close to the end of Disc 1.
I did see.
Oh no, Rocket Town. Also Rocket Town, somewhere in there too.
I did see one thing in the game that I don't know if it's exactly spoilers, but there's a part in the game where Aerith and Tifa are changing behind stalls, and you physically can't peek.
Yeah,
the game will point out like you're trying to peek. Stop that.
I didn't try to do that. I know what scene you're talking about. And she starts walking over, and then Aerith is like 3 feet back.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, all right. And I just kind of went around and like explored the area, got chests and stuff, and then left. But I
watched the one on TikTok. It was like, I want to look.
There'll be a couple times actually that's like kind of similar scenes where like if you try to go into any of Tifa or Aerith's rooms ever, there's like the door is locked. They're changing or something, and it's like, all right, moving on. Happens a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's funny though. There's a lot of also little silly funny moments. As with the tone of 7. 7 can be really goofy at times. Serious as the story can get, it is also.
I can't wait to hear Cloud say, "Let's mosey on out of here."
God, I can't. Part 3 can't come soon enough, man. I can't wait to hear it.
Just "Let's mosey" or whatever he's.
It's like "Let's mosey." Pure quintessential backwater town Cloud. Let's mosey, guys. It was fun. Kind of circling back though to Crisis Core. It was so fun seeing Zack and Cloud interact again when I was replaying Crisis Core.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I miss that relationship. It's a fun dynamic.
Well, who knows? We might get it again.
God, I hope. We'll see as I keep playing. It's like freaking. It's just like, wait, you're from. It's like I'm used to it. It's like you're from back or whatever. I forget what they say. Small town or backwater town too. It's like, where are you from? Nibelheim. What is it? Is it Booney? What is the Booney name? Where are you from? Gungana? Yo, you want to talk? It's great. It's just a great exchange. I love it. Love it to become bros instantly. Bonding over that. Anywho, that has been another episode of Nerd Nonsense. Makoto, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at MakotoDragon_ and on Twitch and YouTube at MakotoDragon.
And you can find me in the same place and or exploring the world of Gaia, because that's where I'm going to be for the next freaking 2 weeks. But
find them on the PlayStation Network.
Yeah, find me on that PSN, grinding my way through. Be same places though as Nero. Until next time, bye-bye.
Goodbye.